sitter. He's taken that little record away from Marc Marquez. Will he be able to convert it? Champion Maverick Vinales in the middle, and then of course Marc Marquez, 8 times a winner so far in GP, and 8 times world champion, 6 of those in MotoGP of course. Cal Crutchlow absolutely fighting with an animal, and that's the Honda. He's the second fastest Honda out there, but he's back on the 5th row. Is of course Jorge Lorenzo. What can he do from there? His tyre choice is slightly different from everything long gone. But they're going to be, they won't be a problem, of course, because they'll have. So then, we are about to have the main event, the PT. Hang on, 73.58 miles, round 15 is away, and down towards turn 1. There's so much riding on this. Marquez, that was a bit of a reticent start for him, wasn't it? And he's going to drive out of turn 1 if he can onto this back straight. We know the Honda's good, but what I'm amazed at is the way that the Yamaha held their own down that straight.
That was incredible, actually. I'm shocked. But
It's easy to do when you've got a lot of nerves, and there were a lot of nerves down there. Look at this, out goes Morbidelli out into the rough stuff as well, but it is up front. It is a long way for motorbike and man, and we are going to have the biggest old race here in Buriram, that's for sure. He got it all worked out, but I just couldn't see him having the same kind of arrogant pace when he came from virtually nowhere from earlier on in the week. But 26G battering that we're talking about with Marc Marquez, he actually got off the floor, went to the hospital, and he's hotter now than we were then.
That's right, he did a 23-lap run on his last lap. He did a 31.0
race as well. That's pretty impressive round the outside of Quartararo. So then it's
in there too deep.
A few mile an hour extra over the Yamaha down into that turn as well. It's all got to be stopped. Mass versus brakes. Still Quartararo. It's a long way to go in this race, and what concerns me very slightly, when they start to lose a little bit of grip from these motorbikes, on some of these little Honda being as lively as it is, he's going to have a job to stay on it.
Yeah, you think the previous races we've seen to cycle like this, with the humidity, it's 30 degrees but feels like 40 because of the humidity.
He's been having a good weekend as well. Joan Mir, the rookie, looking very good on the Suzuki, beating his teammate Rins, who's behind Ross Espargaro, up there in 10th place. Taka Nakagami, the second of the Hondas at the moment. Where is Crutch?
Some worse. This morning he was 19th in the morning warm-up. I mean, I have never seen Cal down in 19th place.
It's the other way. Marquez manages to control that apparently by using a whole load of rear brake. I see a whiff of smoke. I just saw a little whiff of smoke, but we'll keep an eye on it. Whatever happens, it's Quartararo under pressure, and we know he can handle pressure every test so far. Would he crack under pressure? Misano, Marquez.
The mistake you could say he's made all year was in the first Grand Prix, stalling it on the line. That is about the only mistake we've seen.
Problem for me just there was that Quartararo was using, I think, just a bit of the green work.
If they class that as 1, let's say, you allow, what is it, 2 or 3?
3, I think, isn't it? Well, I mean, it's discretion. What did we do last time? 1:31.4. We're at the end of the lap.
Yeah, what we've seen, Marquez's pace. So at this point,
on a worn tyre.
Exactly. At this point, I think Marquez is not. He's not stressing. He knows it's a long race.
Behind him and where they are than what's going on in front at the moment. And he's got to be hurt. You do not take a trip down in the Buriram town and not have an ache or two. A little slower than we've seen him. He's an athlete that jumps around quite a lot, and we've not really seen that. Still a relatively high fuel load as well, so it will feel a bit heavy. Two Suzuki.
Brilliant.
It's just not right. I mean, it's a terrible situation. And Lucio Cecchinello's going grey all over. And it plays on the 93 bike right up behind the 20 of Quartararo. And that is half a second, in other words. Quartararo lead over Marquez at the line last time round. Maverick Vinales being dropped off in 3rd place. But right from him. And once again, he's going to be fighting with Rossi, because Rossi's the man that's chasing after. Rossi's crew chief next year, Silvano Gobachera, will David Munoz, who comes across from Moto2, Bullega's team in the VR46 operation. Oh, Rossi, that's a big old deal that Valentino's gone with there. Breath of fresh air, it would seem, for 2020. Wrong, didn't he? And back comes Mir. These two are now going to be rubbing shoulders.
He will not
get the better of the 23-year-old Alex Rins.
He just looks a bit ragged, Rins, doesn't he?
It might rain for this, so I thought he might well be a podium material with that Suzuki, but the rain...
To say he's caught the field already.
It really is. He's caught Lorenzo. Lorenzo's done and dusted, so...
Tell you what, Quartararo stretching.
And look at the times he's doing. He's doing 31 low.
You know what I mean? He wouldn't sit back a second. Not a second, but like that gap. I know it's not a big gap.
Up sooner than he's wrapped up any other title ever. Commentary position here as well, along with the heat and humidity, comes some fairly ugly looking small
that bit just to keep everything cool.
I think he's right.
Heat is a massive issue around here. Normally on a track you would be tight and overheat and the motor. So
I think
that could be right.
Marc Marquez is very, very smart, but they've now switched that a little bit, and finally they've given Fabio Quartararo, and it's made massive. Looked at it.
Well, he was always the bottom 3 every track we've been to. Where this weekend, and we're talking around the mid-pack, hasn't he?
Not anymore on speed. Top speed of that Yamaha, a little bit better for Yamaha at the moment. When you looked at qualifying, Quartararo on a Yamaha first, Maverick Vinales on a Yamaha second. Franco taps on the gas straight away.
First man into the 30s as well, look at that. Like he tyre, when he's been doing his race runs, he has not had those lap times like Fabio.
Saving him up. Tight. He's going to... Now Mia Rins has already gone past Rossi. Rossi's fading here. Rossi's fading. Well, I've got to say as well, it has a bigger impact on your body than when you're 20 odd years old. There is no doubt about
There is a reason.
Maybe
incredible motorcycle racers.
As he is.
You just can't continue to cope with this heat.
It's like a war when you're out there in this. Digging in is all very well, but we've already seen a couple of podiums here, and they take their helmet off and you think, hang on a minute, it's hardly any sweat. If that was me, I'd be dripping. Quartararo, what did we see last year when we came out of the Phillip Island Australian Grand Prix? We were in the queue of a squash or something. He's out running. We're in a queue, and he's already out running and retraining for the next round.
But not your Quartararo, look at him. And we both said at the time, I'll tell you what, so obviously by then we knew he was going to MotoGP. I said it's
this racetrack, and that really is the Liberty Takers part of the track, I think. That turn 4-5, and then of course you've got 6. Looking good, that Honda, but it's just a question of whether he's using it all just yet. He looks like he's closed that down. It was 0.5 for Fabio Quartararo, so we'll see when they get to this turn 12 again next time around, as we
will not be happy at all.
You want to win?
All.
It's closing right in now.
But
it was down to 0.3 by the way at the line last time.
It was like Marquez, you could just see him carrying that little bit more speed in the corner.
Having said that, we know that Quartararo is prepared to risk. This is where the Honda and Marc Marquez, more likely, is so good through here. He's closed Quartararo right down. But there isn't. It looks in good order still. The Honda does as well.
Yeah, so do the fronts.
So not a tyre issue that's well, pretty shocking the way they ride motorbikes now. The amount of curve that you take inside and outside. All the wheels go in line and it pushes forward straight away. We were watching it through qualifying.
Well, that's the Casey Stoner technique. He was
get the line between these two, but I don't really need to tell you that because you can see it in front of you. Quartararo, Marquez, Vinales is just over the line. Alberto Puig watches on. All their jobs are riding on Marc Marquez, I was going to say, and that is with Takaki Nakagami.
Then the late, bear in mind that's the 2018 Honda. The next
in 19th place, 33 seconds behind
after just 13 laps. Still,
it's going to explode there eventually. Alberto Puig seems to be a bit harsh towards Lorenzo as well. Lorenzo will be picking that up on the radar. That's left after this one.
We don't think he's going to be Lorenzo. That is, we don't think he's going to be riding for Honda next year, do we?
Well, when it comes to stock value. One of your favourite phrases.
This man.
Yeah, he's just so good. Hello. An indication just has map written on the top of Quartararo's board. I wonder if they've got a different mapping for a little bit more horsepower.
The fact that he's been on that pace is very, very impressive.
Very, for this amount of time.
To put it into some sort of perspective then.
This is what the race is about. The 93, if he continues where he is, will be take his first ever win on a MotoGP bike. You wouldn't have said he had this kind of pace for all to see, but whatever they've done with that Yamaha, the increase in temperature, and that's the other thing that's yet still that Yamaha is coping with it really, really well.
Looks fine, wheels in line, doesn't look scruffy like that. He's not climbing all over the motorcycle. They've got the electronics working beautifully on that Yamaha.
11 laps to be pretty far, long straights. You get a little bit of a rest, but you don't really, not from the heat, because you're crouched over that body and temperature. It's the humidity that gets you whenever you're in these Southeast Asian countries. Fourth place from Morbidelli, Mia and Rossi, Petrucci, Alessia Spargro. Where's Rins gone? He's going to sit there until it's time.
Sit there and wait right to the end.
The only thing that's different is that Quartararo do to make Marc Marquez on the last lap go the long way around. He didn't have a choice back in Misano because the Honda...
Marquez's strong point is the first two sectors of this lap. So if he does make a pass there, luckily he could get some track position and basically set himself up for a dive bomb into the last corner. I've just got a feeling
I might be having a little nibble back of it. Marquez looks very strong through 4, 5, 6 out that sector. You watch him now, we're out of 3, so up this straight, over the hill we go. It's a nice gentle rise over the Dave Marquez. If he can get under in there and destabilise Quartararo, or even here into 5.
Do you know, and then the last 4 laps he's been quicker than these leading 2. On the last lap he was 3/10 quicker than the leaders. Look, I'm really lucky to get on the back of these because, you know, if he continues to take 0.3 out, he'll have a chance. But
Sun in Buriram, the PTT Thailand Grand Prix, round 15 in the MotoGP series. Round here, it's a very simple track, nothing complicated about here, but as so often with simple tracks, very tricky to find.
Came into Moto 3 and Moto 2, it didn't quite go according to plan, and we didn't see what you didn't see the talent we'd seen when he was. All Marquez wants to do is crush his opponents. There is no way he's going to let Fabio Quartararo
to try, and once again, can't make my mind up what Marquez is actually 1-0, 31-1 last time round for the top two, and we are now into that position. He won the race last year at the very last corner. Dobby got down the inside of him, the other way round. Dobby got down the inside of Marquez. Marquez cut back to take the win from Dobby.
Good as you'll see. I mean, look,
and unexpected.
Within 0.4 of a second from his...
All the sheets, the amount of studying we've been doing this week, particularly around Marc Marquez. Marc Marquez gave us a real indication what he was capable of. I never saw this from the Yamaha sheets. Yeah, of this Thai Grand Prix.
I just hope if it comes down to the last corner and if Marquez is behind.
Well, that's for sure. And if that last corner here, the penalty really is difficult. We've seen it from these two perhaps, but there's the live championship. 105 points it would be between Marquez's title and march on to getting it faster than he's ever won a world title. Right, I think round 15, I think he's won them at round 15 before. We've just got 19 rounds this year perhaps. We extended it, didn't we? Dobby were on board with it over the line. Dobby.
That shot then of Marquez coming out of turn 1, Keith, that was... Yeah, and Rins, we saw that opposite Silverstone. It just didn't quite have the grip, did it?
Didn't have the grip through the final corner to the line before the man he did a block pass on.
It's also...
Oh, hang on, it's getting a bit lively for the Yamaha as well out. Yeah, but you're talking more Cal Crutchlow. Well, this Repsol Honda seems to have a milder version.
Corners, because this is the run to the last corner. Let's just see how close Mark can stay with him. So they go through 9. They're very, very equal, aren't they?
So, they really are.
But to make the pass, you have to be clearly close. Well, yes.
Quartararo, his time over the line, 31-2. 31 up will be Dobby. He's on a 31-5. So
here we go. Is he going to go? No?
Not round the outside, I doubt. Do you know what? I think Quartararo's letting go there. No, you're right. He ran it hot. He's going to squint. He's been brave and he's looked quick down here before.
No, he's definitely waiting.
I needed to know that he was there, but it's... When somebody does that to you, it's a bit cheeky.
Yeah, he's playing games. But last year we saw some, let's say, what we call slower races where the leader, Dobby, when he was leading, was backing the field up, going a second.
And the grip gets a little less, and the fatigue gets a little more as well. Both these men, oh, he's building again. He came to the Thai Grand Prix last year and did a full after humidity that there is down in that city. And didn't sweat a bead.
No, didn't have a bead of sweat. Got a question for you then. And Mark doesn't try a pass. You come out of turn 11, what on earth do? You're going to have to...
Marquez will square this one off. Marquez has got... You see, Quartararo's already just lining himself up here. We've got enough time, 2 and a bit laps to go.
Now, building up, and I'm talking about Fabio Quartararo, never won a MotoGP race. The last Frenchman in 1999 at Valencia. Actually, he's only ever won 1 Grand Prix in the past.
2, but he got 1 took away.
One took away for having a faulty tyre pressure last year. But it built up inside.
95,000 tyres are getting onto their feet. And northeast of Thailand, 2 laps to go then. It's building. Has Marquez? Of course he has. There'll be a scrabble for the line between these two, that's for certain. There's no one else in this race here. The Thai Grand Prix. Will Marquez make all down to the Spaniard in second place at the moment? What has he and that Honda got left? Quartararo into 4.
And this is where last year he dived underneath
from 5.
Yeah, the bike just turns better there. The Honda, it's almost like he leans
You can hear him over the mics as well, but certainly there's a lot going on here. Everybody watching this Premier Class race then. This Marc Marquez has been sitting there for some time.
I can't watch, Keith.
No, I know, my hands are sweating, even though I hear there's going to be some battle in Buriram, that's for sure. Even the man holding the board looks tense. Yeah, but he built all the way through, but he's going to go the long way round the outside. That's incredible.
That's the limit.
He's got it there, but now then, turn 3, squirting down towards turn 4 on the Yamaha, holding him up. He knew he could make a break through 4, 5 and 6, and he's making that break at the moment. Quartararo had to be in front by 4, 5, 6 corners so that he could build enough to keep the Yamaha just that little bit away from Marc Marquez. This is going to be close, you know. Out comes the Honda, but on the back of him, right there is the turn 12. Quartararo's going to go to the inside. He's up the inside of Marquez. Can he get it stopped? Oh, it's going to be a Honda win. Marc Marquez perfectly judges the win here. He is king of Thailand. Marc Marquez 2 out of 2 at this racetrack. He is the world champion again, 8 times a world champion. Magnificent. There is no doubt about that. Congratulations to Marc Marquez. He's put the 8 ball right.
Fabio had done it. He got it up the inside, just about got it stopped. But Marc
Marquez is a tactician. The way he rode that thing then, he knew if he could get enough. Just enough. Fabio Quartararo, done. I'll tell you what, not for the lack of try, just was a little bit lively into the first part of it, and Marquez perfect exit. And that's the finish line.
That said, this is all part of his very, very steep learning curve.
Marquez. And now it's Quartararo who's learning what he's got. An 8-time Grand Prix World Championship winner, of course. 2, Marc Marquez. If you go back in the day, Giacomo Agostini, well, of course, Marc Marquez is in a golden era. This is a tough time to be a... Marc Marquez's celebration.
Is that in front of the Rossi stand on purpose?
Probably. Last video game machine we went. This time, it's the 8 ball. Queued up his 8th win. Let's see.
He's going to blow it.
He's sweating. Oh, they're pretty close to the corner, so... Yes! Does he have to give it... Well, that was about as much a foregone conclusion, I suppose, as much, but all the same. And there is the 8 ball, the full-size 8 ball. Because old aerodynamic humps are a bit difficult when you're putting your singlet on, as you know. Motorcycle World Championships.
26 years old. Incredible.
The EP. Well, they'd like that down my local club. Footprints on the bays. You can get out of here and don't come back. Razlan Razali did a good job. Celebrations all round, 4 rounds to go. I wonder if he'll just concentrate now, Murray, of course, races I'm talking about, or will he start concentrating on next year?
I think we're going to see a combination of both. I think, obviously because the engine's now where he's got the 4 races where he could really try some experimental stuff on that motorcycle. I actually think he's so addicted to winning that he'll just want to, obviously, and try and equal what he did in 2013. Sorry, 2014 when he won third. Man, when he's a Maverick. This is going to end well.
Could be a possibility. That was for certain. Honda's going to be very happy about that. It's the only mistake they've made all day. It's knocking the body language from Quartararo and co. Yeah, it really does. Just waiting to get this podium over and done with and get out of here by the look of him. Marquez, again. You know, that is such an achievement. But
Crutchlow finished 12th in the end, Keith. Worked his way past a few.
And 4 points for Cal, but obviously 34 years old at the end. I think he's had problems this week as well, physically, hasn't he?
He has had some really bad tendinitis.
Just, you know, there's no... You've got to expect that, haven't you?
Some of the footage we saw of booking and weaving.
Everywhere. Rins 5th. He would have said that Morbidelli probably would have expected a bit more than that. He would have minded to finish in front of both the Yamahas in front of him, both the Petronas bikes, and his teammate. Again comes Satang. He goes straight on, obviously, weekend off, and then we move to Malaysia before